Today is Friday, June 30th. I'm on Port Harbour Parkway, starting from Winding River Trail. We are looking at the shrubbery that makes up our property barrier, I would call it here, between Port Harbour and the golf course and the backs of homes. So this area here all backs up to the tributary golf course. And this is the oldest section of River Strand. You can see a tiered high bush with a lower bush in front of it. Coming up to Grand Estuary Trail right now. See the residents only gate here at Grand Estuary. You got a berm over here. There's a lake on the other side of this berm. See a mixture of oleander, some grasses. There's the FPL easement area. Here and allow the car to go by me. I'm here at 8405 Port Harbour Parkway now. So this is our golf maintenance area here. And another berm with grasses here at Port Harbour and golf maintenance. You can see these areas here just have some short grasses. So, right behind golf maintenance is hole number 6, where the bathroom is on trip. And you can see this stretch. These are the shrubs up top here that I believe were just installed in the last 3 or 4 years. But it's just that narrow area here. So here's trip 7, tee box. Pond here. And then you got some more oleander, you got grasses here. So this is the small crossover path there before the 7th green. Grasses, palms, got some oaks in between. You got a lake here on the other side. As you come now, we're at the end of the lake again. Here you just have some grasses. The difference over here obviously is because these, where the shrub line is, the other side of this shrub line is golf course. You do have a pretty nice berm here that's maintained by the association through Truescapes. The berm side of the sidewalk is the association. The street side of the sidewalk is Heritage Harbour as far as maintenance, and it's 2 different kinds of grasses. So I'm coming up now to the corner of River Strand Boulevard and Port Harbour Parkway. As you can see, the berm gets a little bit more steep here. This is the area where we have the waterfall, of course. Come up to the stop sign now. Now we're going to continue down Port Harbour Parkway. So, heading west on Port Harbour. So this is the first section here. This area here does not back up to golf course here, and consider this area, I would say, the sanctuary primarily. You can see we do have a high shrub line here. Gets lower to some grass area with just some palms. We do have a pond on the other side of this area that we're looking at right now. Coming up to Lighthouse Cove now is what's on the other side of the street from us. There we've got another hedgerow here. Got some tall hibiscus trees. Got some yellow flowering plants. So probably at my Burnham there at the top. Looks like there's a mixture. Some areas it's tiered, some it's not. But if you can also note the amount of distance between the sidewalk and there. Okay, so now we are coming to the other end of Lighthouse Cove. I'm just passing that. So again, you have now variegated arborcola and grasses here. Coming up now on Cutting Cove. This area here usually does not have any kind of pond behind the house. You've got palms, you've got high shrubs, you've got a mixture of different kinds of trees. So now we're at the entrance to the sanctuary at Heritage Preserve Run. See the fencing over here. There's the River Strand sign. So starting from this area down, you can see we have some high shrubs here, a little bit of dense foliage. But behind here, you're directly into a home's backyard, particularly right there. There's not a whole lot blocking people from just walking through the shrubs, but there is the shrub line there. Continue down. Here's the portion where it kind of gets a little bit skimpy. We have more variegated arborcola, and this area here is fairly dense. It's probably about 6 feet. I'm going to get out so we can get a closer look. Depth of the shrubs that are up to this point. So this is probably about 600 feet down from Heritage Preserve Run here along Port Harbour Parkway. So you can see here where the pond ends, and you probably got about 4 feet deep worth of shrub. The variegated arborcola here, which is this plant, is fairly thick right here, so it wouldn't be really easy to climb through this stuff. And if you look down the shrub line here, it runs pretty much this thick all the way to the end of the pond ending right here. There are, of course, some areas in between trees here where, I mean, you walk through these plants, it does look like somebody's maybe done a little bit of work right here going through. But then as you get further up, and I'm walking back towards Heritage Preserve Run at this point, looking at the depth of the plants that we got here. So you reach this point where you're right behind these homes, and you only have one layer of hedge, really. A little bit of grasses behind it. And then as you get closer and closer to Heritage Preserve Run, you have more holes here. And in this area right here is a pretty obvious spot where people just go in between houses here. So, I mean, you'd have to be, and this is where the hedge line really stops. So if you were going to pick up your hedge line, you pick it up at approximately that palm tree that's braced and take it all the way down this stretch here. So past where that variegated arborcola is, the variegated arborcola is the yellow plant where we would take it. So again, this is the Port Harbour side. Don't really have a lot of room on the Port Harbour side. So I don't know how we do it here on the berm, but this is what we're going to be looking at. It's coming down this side here. Again, this area here, it's pretty thick. So this would be very difficult to walk through. I mean, you've got 2 or 3 other areas that we've already seen. I think this is a jasmine from the looks of it. It's pretty thick. This berm here gets really angled here. I can feel my shoes moving as I'm walking sideways on this slope here. All in between these palm trees. I mean, right now, if you can see this is probably at least 6 to 8 feet deep. It does get narrower. Continuing down towards K Street, so we have a couple areas here where they pick up some grasses that are not as thick. We've got a spot right here that's just pretty much grasses with no hedge in front of it, where they're trying to get, I'm sure, some differential and spread these plants out so you don't just have a big long row of one kind of plant, which I think is what you saw along most of the hedgerow. Another area here around the tree where they just planted grasses around the tree. more variegated. This is the variegated arboricola. Some issues with some ants here. And down here, you just pretty much continue with the arboricola. And you can see there's the pond here. So here's more jasmine. Here we got a nicer, thicker area here. And you come around, this is our access point right now. And the primary open area for if there's going to be an issue, somebody actually taking a vehicle here. This area right here is 16 feet wide. So if I was to take a fence or a shrub line, come here and go to where the variegated arboricola starts, that would be approximately 85 feet. The whole length down to Port Harbor has been measured at approximately 850 feet. I would say we're probably in the 400 to 600 feet range to get all the way down to where the other high shrubs are, where they stopped.